Hi, my name is Lindy from Project Portfolio Office, and in this video I'll be covering the cost functionality in PPO as well as the related reports and dashboards. So when logged into PPO, how to get to my cost entity is just hovering over projects and I select costs. That takes me through to my cost list. To start off with, I'm going to drill into an existing record just to talk you through the fields as well as the calculations. So I'm going to use my edit icon and just click on that and it opens up in the side panel. So for your cost data, you always add a cost record against a specific project. You select a category, which is either CapEx or OpEx. The subcategory is non-required, and there's a list that we've added here, but you also have the ability to add additional items based on your requirement. We allow capturing of cost records by year and month. The year-month field is calculated based on your input on these two fields. You also have the ability to add a short description in the text field over here, and then we have our cost input fields. So we capture our budget, what has been spent, what is committed, so that will be any purchase orders that have been committed as an example, and our estimate to complete. Total at completion and variance is calculated. How the total at completion is calculated is it takes your spent plus your committed plus what you still estimate to complete, and that gives you your total at completion. Your variance is calculated by taking your budget less your total at completion, and that would give a variance. So on day one of your project, generally your budget and your estimate to complete is the same, therefore zero variance. But if we spend 250,000. I don't have any commitments as yet, and I still plan to spend 250,000. So my expectation here is that I still won't have a variance because it takes my spent plus my committed plus my estimate to complete, and that gives me my total at completion, which is still going to equal my budget. So if I just submit this, I still don't have a variance. If I just edit this again, my spent is 250,000, but if I estimate that I'm only going to spend another 200,000, I'm going to come in with an underspend of 50. So if I just submit this one, you'll see I have the 50,000 underspend on this specific record. I'm just going to close this record and cover a couple of the basics on my cost list. So I can either do a single add of a record, which opens up in the side panel. I can also use these action icons over here. So I could copy this record. If I potentially want to add that for a future month, it copies the entire row and I have the ability to adjust what needs to be adjusted. I can also edit a single record. On my cost list page under the actions menu, I can click add in grid. If it's the first time you're using the grid on the cost entity, you'll be presented with a settings page. So for editable fields, we are going to select the project. We're going to select category as well as the subcategory. The measures fields, these are budget, committed, estimate to complete, and spent. I'm just going to change the sort order of these to budget, spent, committed, estimate to complete. Do we want to create records where we do not capture any values? I'm going to say yes, because I want to ultimately create records for 12 months for my project. The period, I'm going to select the year and month custom lists. Custom list year period, we select the year custom list. And then we've got the option here to say include all items in the custom list, which I don't want to do. Otherwise, I'm going to have something like 7 years cost records that will be created. So I'm not going to select that. I only want to focus on 2026. The custom list Month period, we select the month field, and here is the same option. Do we want to include all the items in the custom list? That is yes, because I want to create 12 records for 2026. If I save this, PPO will present me with a grid where I can easily capture all of my cost records for my specific project. So I will select the project itself, my time and attendance project, my category is OPEX, my subcategory, which is non-required, but I am going to complete that, consulting fees. And here you can now see the grid very much like an Excel, where we've got our year and the month as columns, and we have the ability to capture all of our values. So to start off with, this is day 0 of my project. My budget and my estimate to complete will be the same values. So for now, I have just captured my budget and my estimate to complete for the first 6 months. Before I submit, I can do a preview of how the cost records would look like if I were to submit. So here you can see the first 6 months, I've captured my budget and my estimate to complete, but PPO is still going to create the other 6 months for me based on the grid mode. I'm just going to filter for that specific project. It is my time and attendance project. So here you can see my 12 months, 1.2 million budget, and that is my estimate to complete. Therefore, I don't have a variance. If I want to update these records using the grid, I basically select my 12 records, I hover over actions, and I click editing grid. So that brings up all of my cost records. It means I'm going to add a new record. What we can see here, the very light amber, that means if I update something here, it is just an edit. And if there was an error, dashboard outputs to support cost management. The first one is our cost dashboard. We have an S-curve. I'm also going to focus on the project status over here, but very useful. Here is an example of our portfolio view where we also talk to budget versus spend per phase, and we also have a table at the bottom that focuses on budget spent and percentage spent. The third dashboard is our S-curve. So here we can see this is our budget line. This is our total at completion and what we have already spent at this stage. Here is the project status dashboard. So there is a section in this single status report that covers our project costs. That's also valuable. And then on the reporting side of things, so to get your report, you just hover over reporting and select reports. We have the finance data report that you can run. It also has the drill through capability that takes you through to the cost list itself for that specific project. The data completeness report does a check on whether data exists and that adds up to your overall score when it comes to data completeness on projects. I hope you found this video valuable. Thank you very much for watching.